It was a big story, right? Just a lot of chaos.
The JonBenet Ramsey murder.
They made up their mind on day one that I killed my daughter.
3 decades on.
You can't comprehend that anybody would be that evil.
Who do you think killed JonBenet Ramsey?
Law enforcement never opened that door.
But now detectives are doing what they should have done in the first place.
There was no doubt in your mind that a stun gun was used.
I was about as sure as I could be.
Following the evidence.
I want to hear your theories in the comments. On Christmas night, 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey fought to stay awake. She didn't want the day to end. The excitement of presents, laughter, and holiday magic lingered as she slipped off to sleep, dreaming of the adventures she'd have with her new toys in the morning. For her, it was a perfect Christmas. By dawn, the magic was shattered, and this story would become one of the most infamous murder mysteries in modern memory. Fast forward 28 years, we're still drowning in rumors, theories, and unanswered questions. Welcome to Timeless Mysteries. Please like and subscribe. Today we're going to examine the evidence, look at the major theories, and tackle the one question that has haunted America for decades. Who killed JonBenet Ramsey? On December 26, 1996, Patsy Ramsey desperately called 911, reporting that her daughter was missing. When Detective Linda Arndt arrived on the scene, Patsy showed her a 2.5-page ransom note demanding $118,000, the exact amount of John Ramsey's Christmas bonus. From the moment investigators stepped into the house, the crime scene felt orchestrated. The note's length and dramatic language instantly raised suspicions. Ransom notes are usually short and direct. The Boulder police initially searched the entire house and treated this missing person case as a kidnapping. Several hours later, Detective Arndt, the only officer left in the house, told John to search the property again and look for anything out of the ordinary. That's when he found JonBenet's body in the basement. He frantically called out for help and began removing the bindings, hoping she was still alive. As the father of JonBenet emerged from the basement, it was clear now. This was no kidnapping, this was murder. JonBenet was a well-known child beauty pageant star. These pageants can be a magnet for dangerous individuals who fixate on performers in ways that spiral into obsession. In JonBenet Ramsey's case, she could have attracted a pageant stalker or a pedophile. Experts in forensic psychology often describe pedophiles as methodical planners who watch from the sidelines, taking note of a child's schedules, family dynamics, and even the layout of their home. Their psychological makeup is marked by a grandiose sense of ownership, an unsettling belief that the child is somehow destined to belong to them. This delusion feeds a growing fantasy that can evolve from admiring a child performer to plotting a very real abduction or attack. Once fixated, such predators often engage in grooming behaviors, either directly by attempting to form a bond with the child or the child's family, or indirectly by studying every detail they can find in fan pages, pageant schedules, and local news stories. When stalkers' motives cross over from pedophilic desire to outright sadistic rage, the result can be horrifying. Any resistance from the victim or any obstacle that gets in the way of domination can trigger brutal force. Did the killer fantasize about her for weeks or months before the final violent encounter? Pageant stalkers have been known to conduct surveillance for weeks, even months, learning exactly when a household is most vulnerable. Such predators excel at leaving minimal physical evidence. There is a high probability that someone intimately tracked JonBenet's pageant life and then slipped into her home. If they were in the home, the question is, was it the first time they had entered the home? How did Detective Linda Arndt miss finding the body in the first place? She did search the home. Why would a detective allow a father to search his own house? JonBenet was found with her hands bound. Duct tape covered her mouth, a garrote, a device constructed from a broken paintbrush handle and a length of cord, was tightly wound around her neck. This makeshift tool wasn't a haphazard creation. It was deliberate, designed to exert intense pressure and cause lethal asphyxiation. Similar in mechanics to a tourniquet, a garrote applies a controlled, focused force, cutting off both airflow and blood circulation to the brain. The brutality of strangulation with such a device cannot be understated. This is not an instant method of killing. It is slow, excruciating, and torturous. The cord would have dug deeply into JonBenet's delicate skin, leaving clear evidence of the tremendous force applied. Experts have suggested that such a method could involve intermittent tightening and loosening, potentially reviving the victim multiple times before death finally occurred. If this was the case, it suggests a chilling intent to prolong terror and suffering, and a killer who thrives on domination at a level that is difficult to comprehend. The injuries to JonBenet's body tell an even more complex story. In addition to strangulation, she suffered a skull fracture, a significant trauma that contributed to her death. This dual cause of death raises questions. Was the killer acting in blind rage? The binding of her hands and the application of the garrote suggest control and premeditation, while the brutality of the skull fracture hints at unrestrained aggression. Could this imply two distinct behavioral profiles? One killer focused on control and prolonging her suffering, while another reacted emotionally and violently, possibly in response to her death. The theory of multiple predators in JonBenet Ramsey's case is one that has been debated among investigators, armchair detectives, and other true crime enthusiasts. Still, there is no definitive evidence proving that there were two killers. The FBI has observed that in cases involving killer duos, the dominant individual is often the key to understanding the crimes. Their manipulation drives the events, while the submissive partner's involvement is frequently reactive. Investigators look for signs of dependence, coercion, and shared delusions when analyzing such cases. Behavioral evidence like the tone of communication, the level of sophistication in the crimes, the post-crime actions can help identify the dynamics of their relationships and assign culpability. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left at this crime scene. What we know for certain is that JonBenet Ramsey's death was no accident. Consider notorious killers like BTK, who taunted police with letters, or the Zodiac Killer, who flaunted cryptic messages, or the Golden State Killer. He lurked in people's homes for days and weeks, tormenting the homeowners by moving things around. JonBenet's killer seems to share one common trait with all three of these individuals: the need to dominate and leave a psychological mark. Who killed JonBenet? When a child is murdered inside their home, parents often become the prime suspects. John and Patsy Ramsey were thrust into a media frenzy, forced to defend their innocence as the tabloids dissected their every move. Imagine losing your child in a brutal, senseless way, then facing accusations that you were the one responsible rather than focusing on the real killer. For nearly 3 decades, they've lived under the cloud of scrutiny, with countless people convinced that they knew more than they were saying. In time, other names emerged. Bill McReynolds, the man who played Santa Claus at the Ramsey's Christmas party just days before. He'd given JonBenet Ramsey a note about a special surprise after Christmas, but he was eventually cleared. Olivia, a known sex offender who allegedly wrote letters claiming he harmed JonBenet, yet DNA ruled him out. John Mark Carr confessed in 2006 to killing JonBenet by accident during a sexual encounter, only to be discredited when his DNA didn't match the evidence. His bizarre knowledge of the case still raises eyebrows, but most authorities believe he was chasing notoriety. But what about Detective Linda Arndt? Many criticize her decision to have John Ramsey search the house. Could she have intentionally contaminated the crime scene to protect herself or someone she cared about? Either way, the vital evidence may have been lost forever in those frantic moments when John Ramsey found his daughter. Most investigators lean toward the intruder theory, citing a broken basement window John himself had damaged months earlier. They believe the killer lifted the window grate, slipped inside, and possibly used a suitcase as a step to exit back out of that same window. My question is, Was this the first time the intruder entered the home, or had he been coming and going at will for weeks or months even prior to the murder? If so, why is there no evidence? In 2008, the state of Colorado publicly exonerated the Ramseys, stating the DNA evidence points to an unknown killer. That revelation brought up an even bigger question. Why hasn't this DNA been re-examined with modern forensics tools, similar to how investigators identified the Golden State Killer? Some say the samples are contaminated, others speculate the Boulder Police Department is reluctant to expose mistakes in the original investigation. Is there still a dangerous predator walking free? JonBenet's murder is a psychological maze of heartbreaking loss, eerie coincidences, and investigative stumbles. In the end, no one has ever been convicted, and the rumors keep swirling. Who do you think killed JonBenét Ramsey? I want to hear your theories in the comments. As always, stay kind, be vigilant, and always question the truth. I'll see you in the next video.